Urban poverty in Kenya is on the rise. There's some really worrying trends that when we did our initial research for the strategy for Oxfam GB in Kenya showed that we really needed to engage in the urban context. If you look at some of the underlying figures, such as how many people are actually moving to urban areas, you see it's on the increase. It's now 33% of the population live in urban areas. That's huge. And it's growing, and it's expected to be up to 50% in about 20 years' time.
All over the world, people have been affected by the global economic crisis and climate change. These and other important issues have had a major impact on those living on the edge. Latest reports say 4.1 million people in urban areas are at risk of not having enough food to eat, sometimes tipping them into not being able to cope. Many women, like Alice, are on their own, paying rent, looking after children, and trying to feed families, with help from no one. Alice hasn't paid her rent in 3 months. If she can't find a part-time job, her children go hungry and refuse to go to school. If she buys food on credit, the shopkeeper wants the money the following day. This is Lucia. She has 6 children. She makes 130 shillings per day from selling water and charcoal. Her meager income stays the same while prices continue to rise. Affected too are those who are ill, and also those infected with the HIV virus, making them even more vulnerable when food becomes out of reach.
Saa hiyo saa zingine una hata sumi. Kiwa ni hiyo barabara saa zingine unashinda, unauza kitu kidogo, hiyo ndio watoto wametegemea. Kikuja yote ukiweka jikoni, basi pesa imeisha.
The urban poor have been robbed of their dignity and the sense of humanity. The basic human rights have been violated.
For many, the dump becomes the only source of income as they search for metal, plastic and glass, anything that can bring in a few shillings. Some used to make a bit of money collecting garbage, but now companies have moved in with refuse trucks and big contracts, taking away from some a possible income. As the slums expand and the jobs grow ever more scarce, security problems arise.
Pande ya usalama tunakuaga kwa hatari juu sisi tuko karibu na mto na tuko pahali hakuna watu wengi. Sasa watu wakiharibu ng'ambo ile wanatorokea hapa tuko.
Quite a number of young people sniffing glue, and as a result of idleness, they try to find a way of how they can preoccupy themselves during the daytime, and in the evening they are engaged in antisocial issues.
Tabitha is worried about her second son. If she hears a scream from outside, she's afraid he's causing trouble. She wants to solve his problems, but doesn't know how. If she casts him out, she thinks he'll get into drugs and possibly hurt people. She fears one day he'll be brought to her dead. This is Wanjira. She tried to resist her attacker, but she couldn't call out. He had his hand over her mouth. She says she was lucky not to have contracted a disease.
Tunajaribu kusaidia hata mapolisi, na tunakuta ya kwamba insecurity bado inaendelea kwa mbaya. Wanasema wachache wa polisi ni wachache sana ambao iko kwa area.
In Kenya's middle-class suburbs, water is available and affordable. But here, in the slums, the cost is unbearable. Clean water has to be trucked in, and most people have to collect it in jerry cans. Each part of the process adds to the price, making it more expensive for the urban poor than in any other areas of the city. And climate change will only affect availability, sending the charges higher. The polluted water creates illness across the board in these areas and worsens the nutritional situation. Medication is often not accessible due to lack of cash, and cleaner water too is not affordable.
We would want to look at the Water Act and how it serves the interest of those living in the slums, urban slums. Is it effective, and is it working? If it's not working, then what can we do in partnership with others?
The organizations are in many areas. They do not coordinate their efforts, so the needs of the people are not met. Governance meetings, like this one, are not common in Nairobi slums. In most places, voices go unheard.
We'll look towards supporting community members so that they can be able to participate directly with the policy making processes. So it won't be Oxfam doing it, but just facilitating the process of the communities engaging with government, and also creating those linkages.
We end up choosing wrong leaders who cannot dare to care the plight of Mwananchi. So leadership is the first thing we should change after civil education. There's nothing happening here. You can see all the funds that are brought in here, they end up into individuals' pockets. The way this area is managing, we don't have anything like the city council helping people in need. We just see the city council people when they come to collect their fees. We are living a very desperate life. We are living a very desperate life. There is no improvement simply because the structure of the policies of the government, they are very poor. And they cannot let the common man to benefit from these services.